Hello, everybody. It's good to be here. My name is, she already said my name, so I don't have to say that again, right? Uh, I am definitely a member of the fellowship. Absolutely. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for inviting me. And I love the early bird meeting. I love this meeting. One of my old sponsees told me about this meeting back in, I think, 2001, and I was unwilling to go. And so I didn't think I got here till 2002. And once I got here, she was absolutely right. This is a fantastic meeting. So grateful I'm here. Grateful I found you guys. Um, yeah. So I'm going to show some pictures just because I like showing pictures. That's why. And some of you guys, I know you've seen me before. Although, what did I do with my pictures? Oh my goodness. I had them and then I lost them. Sorry about that. I should probably give you numbers while I look for my pictures. My numbers are that I was the highest weight I ever saw was 420 pounds. I rarely uh, weighed myself at those high weights, and there were very few pictures of me at that high weight as well. But there is a couple. And so here it is. Some of you guys have seen this before. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that's just my sister and I. And I don't know if you could see, but she's crying. And I'm sure I made her cry. I don't remember what I did, but I'm sure I did something. Um, this is a Tarango picnic, which is my yeah, that's my dad's family. And I'm the one on the right. So the big guy smiling with the mustache. Yeah, there's the mustache. And that's me about 2022, I believe. And that's Lake Merritt. I was 266 at that. And this one was uh, November uh, the of the year 23, and I was about 226 there, not 266, 226, and now I'm about 201. So those are my pictures. Um, I should just say it's good to be alive. I am very grateful just to exist. I shouldn't be here. I tried to kill myself, and gratefully I failed. One other person tried to kill me, and he failed, and I'm grateful for that. And I had another severe accident, and so I don't even know why I'm sharing that, but it's my story, so it's the only one I have. So gratefully, none of that happened, uh, uh, and partly lets me know that I definitely have a loving higher power. Um, I also need to share this too, that when I was 17, I figured out how to lose weight and what the problem was when it comes to weight. And that is 3 meals a day, no flour and sugar. At 17, I did a diet and it actually worked. No flour, no sugar, 3 meals a day. And I lost all kinds of weight. I got down to a normal body weight, but um, I couldn't handle being a normal body weight as a 17-year-old because emotionally, I was not 17. I was probably about 3 or 4, maybe 5 years old. So I couldn't deal with sexuality. I couldn't deal with anything. I couldn't deal with life. Life was just way too much, way too intense. Uh, and so even though I had learned how to lose weight, and I got down to goal weight. Um, I just couldn't handle it, and I had to quickly put the weight back on. So the weight was both something I did not want and did not like, but I absolutely needed it. So I needed the food and I needed the weight just to keep you at bay, uh, and life. I just needed that. Um, and so I would always battle with diets, and but never quite got back to the no flour, no sugar until I came into OA. And the reason I came into OA is because, like I said, I tried to commit suicide about a year earlier and failed. But I was coming back on that again and again, and I was getting closer and closer, and I just didn't want to die. And the reason I was going to commit suicide this last time was because I had a really good job, but I was gaining weight and I was getting too big for the shirts. Like when you gain a lot of weight, shirts can start to stretch out. They start to stretch and the buttons pop. Well, I was at 6XL and and um, and they didn't have any sizes any bigger. They said, John, if you keep getting bigger, we're not going to be able to. We don't have any clothes for you. And they basically were saying, we're going to fire you. And it was hard to fire somebody. I was in a union job. It was very hard to get fired, um, but I managed. Um, anyway, uh, so that terrified me because I had, I always had to have many avenues in which to get food to me. It wasn't just one, you know, but the major one was to have a
Steadiness, yeah.
job. Thank you. If you have a job, you can get your food. If you don't have a job, how are you going to get it? I didn't know. And so I was terrified. So I had the willingness to go to OA. And when I found you guys, oh my God, I fell in love with you guys. I fell in love with meetings. Um, I would go to 6 in-person meetings on a Friday in the San Francisco Bay Area. You can go to 6 OA meetings in one day. It's hard to do, but it can be done. It's you start. There was a meeting at 6 a.m. in Richmond. Then there was meetings in Oakland. There was meetings in Berkeley, and I would finish off a meeting in San Francisco. And it was a lifeboat meeting, really late at night. Um, so I just fell in love with you guys, and I fell in love with the rooms. I fell in love with the steps, although I didn't ever complete them, but I did get them started many, many times. Uh, I found my partner in these rooms. And unbelievably, we're still married after 23 years. It just blows me away. And I went through many sponsors in OA, and I got angrier and angrier with some of my sponsors. And one of the last sponsors, he was making some not so nice comments about the food I was eating, and I left. I left you guys, and I said I don't need you OA anymore. Um, I found another program. I did that for a while, and then that program, I left that, and I left all 12-step programs for a long time. Uh, and I had a job, a different job, and at that job, I valued that job. I think that job was my higher power for a while, and I one of my colleagues got so angry with me. I couldn't believe that she was so angry with me that she almost hit me. She didn't. She almost did. And she yelled at me and she stormed off. And I was kind of shocked. But that jolted me into that I needed to do something. Now I had been gaining some weight, but I hadn't gained a lot. But I had been gaining weight. And that prompted me to come back to OA. And the first meeting I came back to was a little small meeting in Richmond, a 10 a.m. meeting. Still goes on, still happens. And and then the pandemic happened. And then I ended up in a lot of meetings with you guys. I got a new sponsor in LA. Uh, and by the way, I follow a food plan now, and I don't do flour and sugar. For the most part, it's weighted and measured. I do 3 meals, Oh, very similar to all the way back when I was 17. The big difference is I have a spiritual life. You know, God is in my life. Perfectly? No. Do I understand that? No. It's the God of my not understanding. I haven't a clue what God is. I don't know. I don't need to know. It's too much for me to comprehend. You know, I'm not a brainiac. I am not a huge, my brain is not a huge intellectual brain. So, and I don't think humans could even figure it out. There's no way I'm going to figure it out. So I know that my loving higher power, I have one. I need one. Uh, any concept I have of a higher power, what does it matter? My higher power is bigger than that. So it are maybe smaller. I have no clue. I don't understand. I don't need to understand. Um, it's what I need. You know, it's like a little kid. A little kid needs a teddy bear, right? Just a little kid needs a teddy bear. I need a higher power. Sometimes my God has skin on. That's okay. Um, so I don't have an understanding of my higher power, but I have one. And it's in my life. He is in my life. She is in my life. I'm so profoundly grateful. I pray all the time. Um, I didn't pray this evening with my mom. I normally call my mom
Three
because
minutes left, John.
thanks, because I had to be here with you guys. And so normally I call just before this meeting, but I thought it'd be a good idea to be here a little bit early. So I'm here. It is, I have sponsees. I'm taking sponsees through the steps with me. I'm going through the steps again. Um, it is such a blessing to be going through the steps. It is such a blessing to be taking others through the steps. It is such a blessing to make phone calls, to call you guys, to talk with you guys. I send a lot of you voice notes. You guys send it back to me. I am so grateful. Um, I'm of use in this world. I am useful. I am loved. I send out love. Uh, I'm getting connected to my family again, not just my mom and my sister, but extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins. Um, yeah, work is important to me still, probably a little too important, but I recognize that it is not the most important thing. My most important is my connection to my higher power, my connection to you, my connection to my family, my connection to my coworkers, my connection to the people I work with. Where I work, they're not my employer. My loving higher power is my employer. Um, so grateful. The one thing I guess I want to share on is one thing I really do need to work on, and I do hear it from many of you guys, is creativity. Um, I used to do a lot of art and crafts, and I haven't been doing that. And so I guess I'm speaking into the universe right now. I mean, I used to do ceramics, I used to do sculpture, I used to paint, I used to do woodwork, I used to do metalwork, I used to do plastics, I used to I just did all kinds of things, all kinds of creative. I used to take art class. I mean, drama. So I used to do all that stuff, and I'm noticing that I'm really not doing much of that. So I guess the reason I'm saying that is because I'm going to go back to something I always go back to, and I know I don't have much time, but I'm going to read it anyway. It's page 132 in the big book. It's highlighted in my big book. And I'll show it to you just in case you guys. So it is highlighted. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right in the middle. page 132, we absolutely insist on enjoying life. Now, for me,
That's time, John.
that's not, thank you. And I'm going to end. It's not just work, it's not just family, it's not just following my food plan. It's also being creative, it's also being helpful. Um, I don't know if that's helping. And just thank you guys all for being here. And any newcomers who didn't want to share, it's okay. I'm grateful you're here. Thanks for listening to me.